The old man in the village had a strange habit. Every morning he fed a crow before he ate his own breakfast. Not chickens, not goats, just one noisy black crow that looked like it had an attitude problem. People laughed at him for years. "Baba Kareem," the baker once joked, "that crow will never thank you. Birds don't write thank you letters." The villagers chuckled. Even the children teased him. But the old man only smiled, tore a small piece of bread, and tossed it onto the wall where the crow waited like an impatient customer. The crow would land, grab the bread, call loudly as if announcing victory, and fly away. Every single morning, rain or shine, winter or summer, the village slowly got used to the strange friendship between an old man and a crow. Now, Baba Kareem was not always a gentle old man. In his younger days, he had been a trader, traveling across deserts and cities. He had seen people cheat, lie, and fight over coins so small that even beggars would ignore them. That's why he often told the children sitting near his door, "Remember this, little ones, kindness is never wasted." The children nodded politely, but honestly, most of them were thinking about mangoes and marbles instead of wisdom. One day, a boy named Imran asked him bluntly, "But Baba, what if the person is bad? What if they don't care?" The old man chuckled. "Then kindness still wins," he said, "because kindness changes the giver first." Imran didn't fully understand. To him, it sounded like one of those confusing adult sayings, like "money can't buy happiness," which adults say while still chasing money. Life in the village continued peacefully until one scorching summer afternoon when something unusual happened. A group of traveling merchants arrived with carts full of silk, spices, and metal tools. Markets became lively, coins clinked, people gathered to buy things they probably didn't need. Among the merchants was a loud man named Javid, who loved showing off his wealth. He laughed at Baba Kareem's habit. "One crow?" Javid scoffed loudly at the tea shop. "Feed it for 10 years and it still won't bring you a single coin." The villagers laughed nervously. Baba Kareem simply sipped his tea and replied calmly, "Not every reward comes in coins." Javid rolled his eyes so hard they almost made a sound. That night, something unexpected happened. A sudden desert windstorm swept toward the village. The sky turned dark orange, dust roared through the streets, and everyone rushed indoors. Carts were tied, doors slammed shut. Javid, however, had a problem. In all his confidence and noise, he had forgotten to properly tie one of his large carts filled with expensive silk bundles. The wind pushed the cart, slowly, then faster. The cart rolled down the slope near the village wall and tipped over near the dry riverbed. Bundles of silk spilled everywhere like colorful clouds escaping from a box. Javid ran after them in panic, but the wind was fierce and the sand made it impossible to see clearly. "Help! My goods!" he shouted. Unfortunately, nobody could hear him through the storm. Meanwhile, Baba Kareem was sitting inside his small house, drinking warm soup. Suddenly, he heard loud cawing outside. Not one crow, many, dozens. He opened the door slightly. The sky looked like a dark feather storm. Crows were circling wildly and screaming in the direction of the riverbed. Baba Kareem muttered with a smile. "That doesn't look like ordinary gossip." He grabbed his lantern and walked slowly toward the noise. When he reached the riverbed, he found Javid frantically chasing silk bundles that were flying like kites. Javid looked exhausted and half buried in sand. Baba Kareem quickly tied the cartwheel with a rope and began gathering the silk pieces. Together they worked for nearly an hour until the wind finally calmed. Javid collapsed onto the ground, breathing heavily. You saved my goods," he said. The old man shook his head gently. "No," Baba Kareem replied, pointing up at the sky. "The crows were still circling above us." Javid stared upward in confusion. The old man chuckled softly. For 10 years I fed one crow. Today, that crow brought his entire family. Javid blinked, trying to process the strange idea that birds might actually care. The old man picked up a piece of silk and brushed off the dust. Kindness is like planting seeds. Sometimes they grow where you never expect. Javid sat quietly, thinking. Back in the village, people were surprised to see the loud merchant walking beside the old man like a respectful student. The next morning, something even more surprising happened. Javid stood near Baba Karim's wall, holding a basket of bread. When the crow arrived, he tossed a piece of bread onto the wall. The crow grabbed it instantly. "See," Javid said proudly, "now I also invest in crow banking." The old man laughed so hard that his soup nearly spilled. The children watching nearby giggled too. And from that day onward, the village often repeated Baba Karim's favorite words: kindness is never wasted. Sometimes it returns as help. Sometimes it returns as friendship. And sometimes it returns as a sky full of noisy crows when you need them the most.